Hi, welcome to what feels like week 100. Well, you know, when the Old West was being settled, the pioneers flocked to go across the country to get to California or to Oregon. And when they got to the eastern slope of the Rockies, they discovered a large encrusted lump of dirt and stone in the middle of the road. Well, the wagons ran around it and the men stumbled over it. Well, after a while, someone dug up this lump of rock and stone and took it down to a stream. And the reason for that is that if you tried to jump over the stream, it was too far away, so you ended up with one wet foot. So he decided to take it down and put it in the middle of the stream so that he could do a two-step and get across the stream on the other side and have at least two dry feet. Well, a settler finally came down and settled in and built his cabin right by that stream and decided, I don't mind having a wet foot, but what I'd like to have is something to hold my door open. So he went down and dug out this lump of stone and dirt and put it as a doorstop for his door. Well, after a period of time, railroads built and were built the economy started to rise because people were living more in the area and they sprung up there. Well, one day the settler's grandson decided that he was going to go east to study, and he came back as a geologist and was visiting his grandfather one day and noticed this lump of dirt and stone and made an incredible discovery, because what he found was not a lump, except a nugget, the largest nugget ever discovered on the eastern slope of the Rockies. This had been in his father's house, acting as a doorstop for years. Matter of fact, you go back 3 generations. It was a stumbling stone to go around, a stepping stone to get across a stream, and now a large rock to hold open or shut a door. You see, the difference was the grandson saw it for what it really was, a piece of pure gold. All it took was a closer look. It made me think of Matthew chapter 13. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field which a man found and hid. And from joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Now, the context of what Jesus was talking about, of course, here was the fact that the Israelites were a precious treasure, a possession that he had. We, by his grace, are a treasure possession. Well, let me ask you 3 questions. How do you see yourself? And how do you see others looking at you? Do you feel that you're a stumbling block for people to get around? Or maybe a stepping stone for others to use to advance themselves? Well, I said there were 3 questions. The third one is this: how does God see you? I take us back to 1 Samuel chapter 16 where Saul was going to be dethroned, and God sent Samuel to go to Jesse's home and to find this new king that would take over the possession that Saul once had. And so Jesse brought, first of all, his oldest son Eliab to him, and Samuel thought to himself, well, this is going to be an easy job because this is the oldest son. He's more advanced, of course, in knowledge of what goes on in the world. But God said this: God sees not as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. In other words, what happened was that he went down to 7 sons, and all of them were no's. So Samuel then went to Jesse and said, is this it? Are these all your sons? And he says, no, my youngest son is out taking care of the sheep. He said, we're not going to sit down till he comes. And we look at him. So they went and they got David and came there, and sure enough, David was the man. You see, even though he was young and inexperienced as Jesse and Samuel saw him, God saw the hidden treasure of the heart. Seeing yourself as God sees you brings true value because he loves you as his creation. He loves you enough to die for you. And having that envisioned and planted within your heart and mind enables you to see things differently, see yourself differently, and see others differently as well. Well, in this brief devotional, what is a takeaway for all this? In this time and day and age in which we're living right now, it's easy to get down on yourself and your circumstances. They seem larger than they once did, the circumstances. As a believer, you are a hidden treasure to Him because He purchased you at great cost. Well, that's the message of hope that we need, and that's that graciously given to us by God. Having this treasure, we have the joy of sharing it with others as well. No one, no circumstance can ever take this away from you. Well, what's the this? You are a treasure, both now and throughout eternity. That's a gift that God gives to you and me now, no matter what circumstances we go through, no matter how we view ourselves. We are a treasure. Our job today, my challenge to you is this: rejoice and live in that truth. It's valid, it's God-given, and it's yours. Have a blessed rest of your day.